welcome back to the Shonen Dump podcast. My name is Nick, and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Bobby.
Hey y'all.
What we got going on here?
Yeah, it's new layout.
This wonderful little layout was done by our good friend Nerdy Beans. Nerdy Beans 3 is his @ so give him a follow. He might do commissions.
He does good work. He does good work.
He does amazing work. He'll throw up some work, both of us right now, if we're editing this. So this week we got 13 series to cover. The usual stuff. My Hero's on break. Is that correct?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So we're starting this week with Ruri Dragon. I liked it a lot. I think it was a really nice chapter. They went over.
I really enjoyed it.
They went over something I was
exactly what you were concerned about the whole time.
Yeah. So the mom went to the school and was like, "Hey, my daughter's like part dragon. Just be ready for that. Sorry, guys." And I don't know that I don't know. It's still not the reaction I would have to someone in my class breathing fire.
Mm-hmm.
But it's at least given an explanation, and that much is all I needed, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely think that it was it was nice to like just get that sort of, I guess, closure, the extra details. What I really enjoyed personally was just seeing the mom and Ruri just kind of interacting, having fun, playing Mario.
Playing Super Mario on the Wii.
Yeah, it kind of hurt a little bit when she was like, the Wii is retro, and I was just like, I guess that's true now. That's like, wow. Yeah,
the Wii being retro and like them just playing it, like you could tell exactly what they were doing. That was great. Tossing and throwing me into the pit.
Yeah.
Done that several times to friends. So I was like, new Super Mario Bros. Wii.
Yeah, exactly.
They won. They had a good time, just spending time together, and yeah, it was just a cozy chapter.
Yeah,
just hanging out.
You even get to see her like interact with like her new friends again, which is like cool. Yeah. It was.
I'm wondering if there's going to be like ever going to be like an overarching plot to this series. Not that I need it. We have plenty of stuff like that. I'm just curious, like, is this what's going to be the whole series? Just cozy little moments like this, or is it going to end up eventually turning into something more?
I'm sure that like this is going to probably be the majority of what Ruri Dragon is gonna be offering weekly, but I do expect there to be some sort of special arc that comes up in the future where things are taken a little bit more seriously. We get a little bit more details as to like who the dad is, I'm sure, and like everything surrounding her background, and our previous predictions could also come to fruition where maybe there's a bunch of other weirdos that are in the class that we just don't know about yet.
The previous weirdos theory is very funny. I just like to think that everyone there is a weirdo, but it's looking less and less likely as the series is going on.
Yeah, it does appear more so that it's maybe just Ruri, maybe like one or two, but
yeah, no, this was a sweet chapter, just mother-daughter bonding. I'm wondering if the dragon's ever going to meet Ruri. I wonder if she's ever going to like meet him in person. Probably. Yeah. I imagine so.
I'd imagine at some point it'll probably come to fruition, yeah.
Kaiju number 8.
I personally I actually really like this chapter a lot.
I thought it was good, but not anything that I was super excited to read. I was like, ooh yeah. But like I'm glad we have Kafka. That's definitely a bonus for me. Mm-hmm. But the stuff in this chapter, I've seen it a lot in other shonen. So I was like, okay, we're doing one of these chapters.
Yeah.
So
I think that there are just a few small details that I really enjoyed, like the whole like they showed Kaiju number 8 blocking in a specific way, and then Kafka's shown blocking in the same way. And then the vice captain guy is kind of like, see, you have like some bad habits from how you're fighting when you're more like tough, you know, when you're a kaiju, your skin is able to like endure more, you know. And I thought that was kind of cool. He's gonna have to like reset the way he fights in order to like fight like a person, not fight like a kaiju. So I just kind of enjoyed seeing the little moments and details like that.
I also thought the like samurai kaiju number 8 looking thing standing there was pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm not 100%
towards the very
sure.
end.
Yeah, it seems like it's like I don't know if it's like a real like manifestation or if it's like maybe an internal like thing with the kaiju, but I thought it was really cool looking. I'm curious to see what
Yeah,
it is.
I think the eye looked like what I remember number eight's eyes looking like. So
Yeah,
that's why I just was like, I hope that's like what he ends up looking like in the future because that's sick.
that would be
I
pretty
hope.
cool. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like ooh, this is like the inner demon that's like has a physical manifestation that I have to overcome because I've definitely seen that type of thing happen in a few shonen before too.
Yeah. And in like
But
a spiritual place, like the temple, which is the location they're at this chapter, like it might be like all of the like dead people here have all manifested into something that whatever will
yeah, because
help
they were
you.
talking about how this is like a battleground for like that just shed a bunch of blood, right? Like in the past.
It's a good chapter nonetheless. I just think that I've seen exactly this a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the stuff you were saying about like them kind of talking about psychologically how he fights because he has the like kaiju form. He
Hmm.
does tries to do the same thing in his human form and how that's limiting. I think that was pretty good, but other than that, everything seen it before. Blue box.
I enjoyed this chapter because it's what's going on is the festival starts, right, and this is where the play is, and so Taiki is being told from I guess their class teacher that they need the play to start 10 minutes earlier than normal. He sees Hina in her cute princess outfit. Next day happens. He wakes up. He's about to go for an early morning run before he goes to school because since there's the festival going on, there's no morning practice that day. So Taiki's trying to catch up. Chinatsu's there doing the same thing, of course, having a moment.
He meets up with Chinatsu and she basically is like, "Hey, let's go on a date together during the school festival," and she leaves out the word date because they've got to drag this thing out like normal high
Right.
schoolers would. It's Taiki gets all flustered and they're it's cute nonsense. The thing I have to say is it's going to probably, if they're walking around together, it's going to make Hina upset. It's going to cause more drama.
The one thing I noticed was the timing because the play that Taiki's class is doing is supposed to be at 3 and it was moved up 10 minutes up 2:50.
Mm.
And Shinatsu wants to meet up at 2 to like and so I'm wondering cuz how much prep time is necessary for Taiki to be involved? Is there going to be a time conflict that comes up because of this? I don't know.
The thing that I'm imagining happening is because we've had this discussion before, you and I, where we're like, oh, is he going to neglect his duties or like forget about an important thing he needed to do because he's on a date or he's wrapped up with Shinatsu? But he's been pretty on point about like, okay, I gotta go now. The only time he wasn't able to do that was when he got stranded in the bus station or train
Right.
station with her. It'd be a weird change, especially since everyone seems to say he's very responsible. The more likely situation in my mind is he goes on the date and Hina sees him, and then that kind of messes up her performance a little bit.
Mhm.
She's like too focused on that. But then that also flies in the face of she's supposed to be like a professional basically in high school. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Too many variables, too many what ifs.
Yeah, definitely gonna be cool though. We've been building up to like this school festival play for a while, so it'll be cool to see the execution there. But yeah, I thought it was like a solid chapter, setting the scene for what the school festival arc is gonna kind of, be.
Ian Roboco. I thought they abandoned the serious plot line like I was joking about
At the
last
very
week.
beginning when they're talking about the
Yeah.
live action series that's getting announced. The cosplayer seems like she's too cute to be normal Roboco. I don't know if the live action is going to be like that or if it's going to be that thing where Roboco's low energy and then becomes cute. I don't know. She is supposed to somehow be Roboco, but I just don't know, I don't
Right.
know if I'm going to even be watching the live action.
Probably not.
Yeah,
But
it is kind of cool though that me and Roboco is getting not only an anime but also this. Like, it seems like there's a lot of buzz around me and Roboco that exists. Like,
mhm.
I don't know, it's just getting huge like waves of support and stuff.
I would say like it's kind of like who would want this, especially since we're getting the anime and we have the manga. But I've learned my lesson over the years with JoJo in particular. me thinking that as well through JoJo, but they did a live action like Rohan thing, and the it was very popular. It was a drama that like tried to like write out a lot of the JoJo from Rohan and make him just like be his own character for the live action drama.
Right.
And it was apparently really popular in Japan, so I don't know. I guess this is what they want over there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure part of it is just the sheer exposure. Like, I know in Japan, a lot of times stuff like anime and stuff like that are just kind of a way for people to get exposed to the series so they can go to the source material, the manga, and then start buying the manga volumes and stuff like that. So, because I know that anime Blu-rays and stuff are exorbitantly expensive. Like, it's insane. But manga volumes are extremely cheap. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're just trying to feed them into the more accessible market through these easier to consume like mediums.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on the how the marketing and like what it's like there, really in-depth detail, but that makes sense from what I observed. Maybe we'll check it out when it comes out. We'll talk about it. But back to the chapter at hand.
Back to the manga.
They continue the Sakamoto Days parody really hard. They even have like some shot for shots.
Yeah. The inside the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, that scene was cool in Sakamoto Days, and it had the same effect here. I was like, that's sick. I like
Yeah.
it. It gets to the point where it's like, I'm pretty sure in Sakamoto Days he was winning. Sakamoto was doing better than the other guy, but Roboco breaks the Sakamoto Days parody and turns it into a Jujutsu Kaisen parody by expanding her domain.
I think when you see like the cafe restaurant behind her, I was cracking up. I couldn't believe it. Like, it's just such a me and Roboco thing to do, and her power to just say an obvious story with no end is just, it's so insane. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, she's telling the story, and it just, she spoils it in the first sentence. And she just keeps going, and it's just a torture mechanic, and it works. And honestly, it sounds pretty effective to me. And he's just lying on the ground, just dying, and just like I don't want this anymore.
If you're just stuck there listening to her for like hours on end, what feels like hours on end, you know, like what are you supposed to react with? You're down, dude.
But the fight ends, I guess, and no one is the wiser. And they get her a present.
A knee pad, yeah, it's a knee pad.
Yeah. Good for Roboco. She deserves it.
A singular knee pad, by the way, not two, just the one.
Just for her favorite knee.
Yeah, maybe for maybe next year they'll get the other knee.
Oh yeah, I see that. It's a knee pad. Like really, really low. But this chapter, I don't know, just as good as the previous. We saw a comment, you sent it to me actually, that was like the author's note for this week. It was like, my goal is to transition me and Roboco into a battle shonen slowly.
Yeah,
that's probably a joke, but it might not be. It seems like you can do it.
I mean, the action scenes were actually like, I thought pretty entertaining. I think one joke that was really fun. So I guess I'm talking about the jokes, not the action, but one joke in the midst of the action I thought was fun was the after image joke, where you see in the manga panel, Roboco is fading away, and then the next panel, she's like, that was an after image, and you can still see she took the damage. She's just putting on a front.
Yeah, no, it's really funny. I like the after image joke's hilarious.
Yeah.
She does like another after image and she has less battle damage. So like this is just an insane manga. It's just like you can't treat it with like complete seriousness. Which is why I would love it if it started to try and take itself more seriously.
It would be cool to see, but
just for a little bit, not like the whole time. Like do a Gintama where it's just like you dip into a serious arc and it's back to comedy. I think that would be fun. I think this could really probably tackle that and do well with it. Dandadan.
Another really funny chapter, I gotta say.
We had Okurin be approached by a fellow dork, kind of with jealousy of how he's
getting all the attention
being surrounded,
from the girls, dude.
being surrounded by women. And Okarin's like, what? I don't know how that's happening. And he completely misunderstands when Momo comes in and is like, we found your other ball sack or fucking testicle. And he's like, whoa, so the secret is to talk inappropriate. And then somebody from Okarin's class, a female student.
I think she's a class representative.
Yeah, the class representative is telling Momo to leave. And is thinking that Okarin's being like put upon by her, and it seems like he's adding another girl to his harem.
Listen. I'm just saying that Okarin's not doing anything. They're throwing themselves at him.
I know, reasons. But like, it's incredible because like, just because he's got more confidence now, right? That seems to be like what is said, that he's confident in himself. He's not like looking to draw these people to him, and that's what is drawing these people to him. That's what it seems to be through like the text.
That's the true cool guy move, right?
Yeah.
The nerdy guy tries to impress the ladies with his newfound technique. He just goes
10-gallon wiener.
10-gallon wiener.
That would be pretty pure beef. That would be pretty cool if I ever saw that in person. I would think, yeah, that guy's pretty sick. I'm a fan.
I would think he's a loser.
They look at him and then just like,
you want to.
And Momo says, "You want to get your ass murdered." That's really funny. But they go out and they're going to track down his golden ball, and the nerdy guy follows them and kind of gets used by the ghost that they're hunting down as a weapon, as like a missile. Okarin turns into his Dash Granny form and beats him up.
Tries to get the ball.
Yep, and it's just, there's a physical being there. It's just invisible. It's going to turn into a cool fight. The art is so good for how it's just a week in between chapters. I don't understand. I just don't understand how he's able to do this.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's not even like the chapters are short, The chapters, honestly, sometimes are longer than what's normal. And so it's just incredible, the amount of consistency with how high the average quality is. It's really impressive.
Yeah, another just great chapter and great writing, great art, great action. I don't think this person's human. I think he might be an alien himself.
See, I was actually thinking the same exact thing because the aliens, the very beginning, were drawn in a way that was not like a normal anime character. They were drawn to be kind of a little off-putting, and the ones that were disguised in the one town too, they were kind of like that also. And this guy kind of gives off that similar vibe, but he doesn't seem to be on the surface a bad person, but he looks like one. He gives the vibe off.
Yeah, he's definitely a creepy character. When they want to draw just like even a slight antagonist, they make them look hideous. You have to wait till next week till he puts out another 20-page chapter of gold.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Aliens area.
Guy fights. He has big laser beam.
Yep. This is getting less and less interesting the more I read. I hate to say it.
I think that it was, I don't know. I mean, it was fine. I think it was fine. I think the setup, I just don't know how to care. I don't know. I mean, there's that thing, it's like supposed to be a big plot twist of, ooh, the princess, your kingdom's like basically already gone. They've been colonized already. And so she starts freaking out, gnawing on the main character's hair, crying. And I'm just kind of like, okay. It's weird because she's like able to understand like the complex idea, but she's just unintelligible. And so I'm just kind of like, okay, sure, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. The plot line isn't working for me at all. Princess saving, we'll arrest this guy, we'll save you. I don't know. It feels very derivative without ever doing anything new with it.
I think the tech that exists is almost cool, but I don't know. The something about the scale feels like it's like a little too small. Like I know that's like only chapter 6, but there's something about it that's just like not particularly exciting. I don't know. I mean, they show off like that there's a lot of tech that they kind of have in this series that they want to show off, but I don't know. There's something about it. It just doesn't hit.
Yeah, the weird thing I have, they said that something about each alien has like 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
And why is that limitation there?
Yeah, it seemed very random to me too.
Each person has 3. Like, could they have less? Why can't they have more?
Yeah, if there was like some power system involved, I was like, oh, you only have so much energy, so people on average have about only 3. I'd be like, okay.
If this makes it far, there's going to be somebody who's like, I have 4. And I'll be like,
yeah.
What? The thing that I saw was like when he went zero gravity. I don't know if it was this chapter. I think it was. Then he released it and dropped down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like most basic thing you can do with a gravity power that like I've seen everywhere. I'm just like, I don't know, this just isn't enough. This isn't enough cool for how like bare bones it is. I mean,
yeah.
So I don't know, man. This isn't looking like a series that might stick around too long.
Yeah, the number of redeeming qualities I can think of are very few. Like, even because series I'm not a huge fan of, like Doron Dororon, like I can at least compliment it on certain aspects of how the framing is and the way the art is very easily read. But this series is just, I don't know, like a lot of things seem pretty rough around the edges.
Jujutsu Kaisen. We're finally done.
The fight.
That fight.
Panda's also alive.
Panda's now chibi.
Yep.
Which, I mean, I don't understand how that works necessarily, because he got torn apart.
I guess he just
his
has
body just
he had
reformed.
a little bit of stuffing left over. I don't know. Like,
whatever, man. I'm glad he's not dead. I like Panda, but just, you got cuter is one panel. I'm just walking by. But the fight's over, finally. He lost an arm, but he won the fight. And he's going to heal it back at some point.
Yeah.
Clarify, he's like, yeah, it'll heal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kashimo is also on their side now, because he can get the goal of, hey, I want to fight Sukuna. And Akari's like, yeah, we have access to that.
I guess I can get you to fight him. He goes back to the manga guy from like eons ago. Feels like a long time ago. And he's like, hey, well, let me read your manga. What's it called? And he's like, oh, I haven't written it yet. I mean, it hasn't even debuted. He's just like, you dick. Like, why are you kidding me? Like, you can't talk about being a professional when you haven't done anything. I don't know. That was cute. It kind of makes that whole fight feel worth it that this guy's still around. I thought he was just going to disappear.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny. It's almost like, I'm sure that, I mean, there's haters for everything. It almost feels like Akutami's like sending a message to the haters, and they're like, you don't even make manga, you idiots. If you want to do something, do it.
Then the like witch girl who rides the broom shows up.
She basically is throwing a wrench into the plan, right? The initial plan of making all those rules in the culling game so that they could set up for their goal.
Yeah,
but
she explains the overall goal fully and is like, this is what we need to do now. Also, I'm glad that we are done with that part that was so difficult for my little peanut brain to grasp, because now I feel like I'm a part of it. I'm like, okay, I got it. I know where we are. I know what's going on. I know what we have to do.
Yeah, Hakari versus Kashimo was cool because the power level of that fight is like extremely high, but it's also just so absurdly confusing because Hakari's power just makes it very just weird. It was weird, but luckily, we're out of it. We can move on, I guess. We're moving on. The witch girl brings up that in the plan that they've devised, there actually is a big change to what's going on. They actually can skip one of the steps basically and go on, like they're skipping step 3 and they're going straight to 4. And Hikari's like, what? And then she explains, yeah, as it turns out, Maki can just kind of ignore barriers. And Hikari's like, why? How? And, as we all know, seeing the previous chapters, Maki's not the same as she used to be.
No. She, like, absorbed her sister or something like that.
Mm-hmm. She's, like, absurdly powerful now, like, incredibly powerful.
Yeah, so she's blasting her way through all the spirits and demons and stuff, and she's making her way in, and yeah, she just looks like she looks bad. She looks like she's been sliced
Yeah.
up and burned and scarred. It's crazy, but she's trucking.
Yeah.
So it looks like she might become one of the more powerful characters.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point she probably basically is. There's something I've noticed about the way that she's been drawn too. It's particularly with the back of her hair, the way that it's kind of shaped. It's always had like a little bit of a sharp like angle, but I feel like now the way it's shorter and everything, it resembles a lot more closely Toji's hair, right? Is what I'm getting at. And so I think that's intentional because she's supposed to be kind of similar in a certain sense of she wasn't very talented with cursed energy, and now she's like stronger than like pretty much everyone else.
She has a conversation with.
Noritoshi.
I think he's another one of their guys. He just had it as. I think he had longer hair before.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, he's complimenting her and everything's looking good. Then the next panel, another like worm spirit enters the game and insults the like little monster that keeps points and stuff and explains rules.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how powerful this thing is supposed to be. It doesn't look that remarkable, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. I do think that I don't know if this is. I'm assuming it's related to what Noritoshi was saying at the end, the risk diversification thing that he was mentioning, because I'm assuming that what that means is that there's multiple plans in simultaneous action or something, I guess. I do know that Toji usually is seen with a worm around him, so I don't know if that's specific to him, but it might be a Zenin clan type of thing. I don't know, maybe like worms are like a thing for them. I'm not sure, but seems interesting.
Yeah.
Akane Banashi. So this week is Hikaru's chance to do her Rakugo performance. They focus on that it's theatrical Rakugo, and she's using her skill as an actress to exemplify the performance. They also mention how a little touchy for Akane, the story that Hikaru chose, because it's the same one her dad decided to do back when he was expelled for life from doing Rakugo.
The art in this chapter was pretty exceptional, and the audience, cutting away to the audience, was much more frequent this time around. See the reaction. Like we'd get a little panel every like 2 panels of her doing her Rakugo. It was pretty good. I think focusing on that one like color splash when it said theatrical Rakugo. I say color splash, there's no color. But just like big bombastic
panel.
artwork out of nowhere. Yeah, just like looked really good. The contrast of the blacks and whites looked really nice.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's like a special lighting effect on the panel.
And we see her like backstory, her hustle and grind, as her little producer guy says. And it seems like she's way more of an opponent for Akane than the new age Rakugo guy.
Yeah, she seems like she's really serious about this actually. So when you hear that she's a voice actress, you think to yourself, well, a voice actress is bigger than a Rakugo person, right, in the modern day. But she's really focusing not on her profession, but on herself. And I think that's a pretty cool distinction to have, because it shows, her seriousness. It shows that she's actually dedicated and motivated to be doing well here in this position. And I think that's pretty cool. And, they even kind of say that, like, her manager is in the audience, and he's like, she will be the one who wins. So I think it almost wants to show that this has probably been the best performance so far.
Yeah. Hopefully that's not a just kind of complete fact. I want Akane to win, but I wonder if her losing here would be a good kind of character growth moment where she'd be able to like, oh, I lost here, but I will do better next time kind of thing.
I do think it would be pretty crazy for Akane to lose here. I kind of think it would not be that great, personally, only because, yeah, we have the backstory for Hikaru to be chosen as, like, okay, maybe she could win because her performance is an incredible performance. You know, she's making the audience roar and howl and stuff like that, and that's really cool. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of it is not something that the audience, like us, could perceive. I feel like it'd be that type of thing where it's like if it was explained the way that she won, it would just kind of be like, oh yeah, her acting was better, it felt better. And I was just like, I don't know, like I feel like I would be cheated because
Right.
my expectation for Akane's rendition of the Jugum Jugum story is set up a little high, you know? So
Right.
I would imagine that there's something explainable, something tangible that's the way that she'll do that story that in my mind should put her over the top, but I don't know, maybe there's something that she fumbles or maybe there's something that she doesn't really quite get, and I could see that also.
Yeah, I that sounds reasonable. I don't think that the outcome is going to be this voice actor girl winning, but I think it is at least an avenue it could go if they wanted.
Based on concept, the previous guy with his more modernized Rakugo style, it seems like a logical way to try and win, right? To get the audience reaction. And I think Hikaru's is a much more like emotional thing. Like you can kind of see it on the reaction of the audience. So I think that the competition that's been set up for Akane in this position has been pretty good. So I do want to see how she will likely triumph over that.
Sakamoto Days.
I thought this chapter was like, okay. It went by a little too fast for me personally, but
I don't like really care about these people that much. So
yeah.
Seeing them deal with another guy we don't know, it's kind of like, all right, I suppose.
Yeah, the one girl from before, she catches up. Kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, like, the guy he's previously a former member, or he was previously a member of the Order, and he's banished from the JAA, I guess. So I don't know. I don't find a reason to really care. Apparently, this guy is like good enough to slip past like 3 of them. So I guess that's impressive.
This whole plot line of them killing people and running into this guy just was nothing to me. I want to go back to the school.
Yeah, it's I don't really care about them too much either, so
hopefully next chapter they go back to the school, but I doubt it. I think we're going to get 1 or 2 more of these guys doing.
Yeah, I mean the action is good as always, but you know, when the scenario is not something I'm fully invested in, it's just kind of, you know, at this point I think Sakamoto Days, you come to expect the quality of the action to be this high, and so the novelty kind of wears down when it's not about something I super invested in.
Doron Dororon. We are doing the Jujutsu Kaisen Tokyo event, but here.
Yeah.
There's going to be a big invasion of Mononoke in Tokyo, and they're gonna deal with them.
And the guy before lost, so now Dora and Kusanagi are extra pumped and motivated.
I think there's even less to say about this chapter.
I mean, it's a fact that I think more happened in the Doron Dororon chapter. Like, the old guy does that thing where he slashes a bunch of dummies down, and Dora's like, I want to do that too. And Kusanagi's like, yeah, we should learn that. And I'm like, okay, sure. Like, I don't know why I care.
Feels like they don't want to grow the 2 main characters like at all. It feels like they've set them up in like the first 5 or so chapters, and when they get to the organization, they're just focusing on everyone else because they are kind of like taking a background role for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This is losing me. I'm even more than before. It's just continuously just going down.
I think that there's like one of very few paths that this could take where maybe I could be reinvested, and it's only by completely throwing away everything they just did, by having this event go down in utter failure. Like everything fails, and Dora and Kusanagi have to pick themselves up, reevaluate like literally every decision that they've made, and recognize like maybe we suck. That would be pretty cool. I doubt that would happen because that'd be extremely drastic, But um, yeah, what happened this week? I don't know. They explained the thing, and I'm like, sure, whatever. They're getting attacked. It's apparently because Dora and Kusanagi are dragging them in or drawing them in. So, no, whatever. Whatever.
Mashle.
That guy who's like, I guess you could call him the deuteragonist of Mashle.
Yeah, he goes into the barrier.
There's like these twin or brothers that are like big and scary.
He begs for his life. They say, okay. And then he's running away. He's like, I'm going to fight, actually. And then he goes there and he fights them. I think this chapter was better than all the ones with the people we don't know fighting things that are way stronger than them and then beating them.
Yeah, I mean, there's like character development that is in this chapter. So that's cool.
But I feel like he's learned this lesson like 4 times. Like, I feel like this character has gone through this exact moment like a bunch of times.
Maybe. I honestly, tell you the truth, I can't remember.
Well, like there was that one test where him, big hair, red hair guy, Mashle were all together on a team.
Right, yeah.
And his thing was, I have to stand up for myself, and he did. Mash had to save him in the end, and the only difference between that time and this time is Mash isn't here.
Okay, so he made progress. He's made progress.
But like
they set it up kind of heavy-handedly, but I guess this is the end result.
Good job, blonde streak hair, Sonic hair guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like at this point, maybe this is the end for Mashle. Like it's ending soon, probably, and so
yeah, 100%.
Maybe like they're just kind of wrapping up all the characters. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the next several chapters we still don't see Mash. It's just all his friends like going through like their like last swing of development before the series ends. Yeah.
Super Smartphone, I think, was the best chapter in terms of my enjoyment of a series. Like this one was sick, at least for me.
It was a very good chapter. I don't know how to compare them at the moment. I wasn't really thinking about it like that, but it was a very good chapter.
I just remember that was the last one I read because I was saving it for last, and maybe that's bias getting in the way. I just remember enjoying it significantly more than the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Main character Q, he goes and he's tracking down Mora, who's committing crimes, and he gets him and he sends a thing to the police, and he realizes, wait, Mora was bait. They're trying to find me right now. So now he's got to get out of that situation without getting caught.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then he realizes, oh wait, they're gonna just kill Mora. Now he's got to figure out how to deal with that.
Yeah, and the smartphone even is like, why do you care about Mora? You know? And the problem is that now that Q has kind of tracked him down, he understands more of like what kind of person Mora is, you know? Kind of, he sympathizes.
You got to know him.
Yeah.
I ended up getting to know Mora. That's...
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
And it's like the audience, they show us, you know, what Mora's like, life is like too, you know? And I kind of get it, you know? He's basically a rich kid, but like, and he finds ways to like get all this money, and he can go out shopping and buy stuff. He comes home at 7 a.m. and his parents just see him come in with all these bags of stuff, and they're like, hey, what's up, son? You know?
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, all he wants is acknowledgement, Dad. Don't you see? But
but the what I foresee now is Q saving him and then them being allies together.
Yeah,
because the bad guy doesn't see anything in Mora. He's just bait. He's just a tool.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine that a lot of his allies are going to go over to Q's side.
Yeah, because Zen sees them as pawns, right? And Q having to unravel all of the mystery and trying to strategize is forced to see them as people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's, yeah, I definitely think that is a pretty reasonable place for the series to go. Pretty cool. Very, very nice.
Undead Unluck.
I feel like this chapter is a little bit more of the same from last time, where it's just they're fighting the guy and they need Fuko. They're trying to convince Fuko, you need to be the one who goes through the loop. And, you know, but at the very end, you know, Billy comes back. But I feel like this chapter is kind of dragging a little, personally.
I mean, Billy coming back, I liked his save. This fight was a little little lame in a lot of areas, but when it got to Billy showing up, I thought, okay, no, this is going somewhere. I wonder when this next loop is gonna start. It feels like it's so far away.
Yeah.
Because of how many times we say we gotta go in the loop, and then they're doing something else.
Yeah, there's been a lot of delays, like actually getting there, but I guess also they need to better convince Fuko. I guess she's getting like really close, if not already there, to be motivated to go into the loop now. So hopefully this is like the last thing that happens, because I don't think that there's literally any other possible, like once they deal with Unruin, I don't think that there's anything else stopping them, right? There's nothing else left, right?
What's his name? Victor. Victor will show up.
Okay, if Victor shows up out of nowhere, coming outside of Andy, like, I don't know, man. I'm very ready to get to like the home stretch.
Thank you all for joining us in this new formatted episode of podcast. I like it a lot. I hope you guys do too. We'll see you again next week when we cover a bunch of more stuff. The chapters are coming out a day later than usual, right?
Yeah, I think they're coming out on Monday, not Sunday.
Okay, so this might be out a little bit later than our usual, but we'll get it out to you. And I hope you have a nice week and enjoy reading manga.
Yep.
Peace.
See y'all.